You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This is not my home. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. Why aren't you laughing?
From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanonfilm.com, click on podcasts, and you'll find the Batman Podcast Network that has a whole list of other Bat-related shows that also like to dive into other nerdy subjects that all of us, including the man who's sitting here with me today, Peter R. Verra, love to frolic about in our free time. Pete's the biggest frolicker. God bless him. Batman Book Club is also on Patreon. If you like what's going on with the show, you want to help support the show, to keep it frolicking, just go to patreon.com/thebatnbc.
Real men don't frolic. I don't know about some of you.
Now, thank you for listening to episode 186, Batman in January. It's our first wrap-up episode of 2024, and you've heard him cutting in here this whole time that I'm doing this great intro.
It's called interrupting.
My constant guest on the wrap-up episodes, from Straight Outta Gotham, Peter R. Verra. Hello, Peter. How you doing?
You know, there's not much that me and Kowalski agree on, mostly because he's ridiculous. But the frolicking thing has really brought us together to make sure you understand what that word is.
He loves frolicking.
He does not. A man of God such as Justin does not frolic.
He was on this episode, or on this show earlier this month, as in last episode. And he talked about how much he liked to frolic. So,
I doubt that happened.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. You know, I really always want to interject when I do intro you on this show of Peter R. Verra, that I really just want to cut in Batman Forever. What's that stand for?
Hope.
Exactly.
Hope stands for hope.
Go way back. What was it? 2021? Maybe
Somewhere.
like episode 50 was of this show was the birth of Peter R. Verra.
Are you sure?
So,
I thought it was a group chat. I don't know. It could have been.
No, it was a group of us crazy bat boys. The birth of Peter R. Verra began. So happy to have you sitting here with me yet again. Not too crazy of a lineup for us to get to. But I have quite a few thoughts, and I'm sure you do too. So, Peter, let's hop into Batman comics released in January. We always start this off with a book that you love so much, and it's the Batman title, which I review for Batman on Film. And I always come out the gate, my thoughts first. This is Mind Bomb Part 3, ending this arc. Written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Jorge Jimenez, colors by, I always mispronounce his name, Tomu Mori.
Good old TM.
Oh boy. Cliffhanger last month. I liked the issue last month. Didn't love it. I thought, it's all right. It's good. And then it ended on one that you and I were like, damn it. With good old fail safe. Bringing back the robot. Batman versus the robot.
T900.
It was like, I think, in the words of many, God damn it. Like, I don't like Batman versus the Machine. I did too. I thought, don't like Batman against the Machine. Again, as I always say in here too, I try to read this with an open mind and not that bias of like, hey, just review this issue on this issue, not my personal feelings. Art is great. Colors, great. I like Batman and stuff. When Batman, he's running for it out in the wilderness, outside of a cabin in the snow and stuff. All that's cool. The action is drawn like really good. It's just I don't like the concept of this freaking failsafe. Get him the hell out. I don't. Bleh. And then on the end of it, and in which we all probably could have assumed is going to be leading into next month, 3 issues of Batman. 3 weeks in a row of the Joker Year 1 story. It's teased at the end of this little Bruce Wayne and Joker talking, and I'm not one that really enjoys Joker knows Batman as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
like
one of the
that.
many things about this post rebirth era that I don't enjoy.
Yeah. I don't really like that because I just feel like that's I don't know. I feel like to me, what works best for me is that Joker doesn't know who Batman is and doesn't want to know who
Doesn't
Batman
care.
is
Yeah.
because that takes away the fun.
Yeah.
So,
It's Batman anyway. He could care less about who's under the mask. He
yep,
wants Batman.
exactly. And so then with that, and then there's a backup story that in this together, Chip Zdarsky, Dustin Wen, and it's like, I don't know, more Mind F, Zernar crap from other blah. So I mean the issue with the action stuff was cool. It's not like I don't really care for it though.
Yeah, that's not enough for me to buy a book. I'm
Yeah.
really considering dropping this again. I picked this up. I've had a on and off relationship with Batman for a while. I mean, we all know I dropped Detective because I think that sucks.
Hmm.
But Batman
Well,
is having
more on
similar
that soon.
problems. I came back because the '89 Keaton Batman came back in comics, so he made a guest cameo appearance. I hung around after that, and it's been up and down. It's been pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
even the ups are pretty bad ups. They're just kind of like meh. I'm done with this Terminator thing. I don't know what Zdarsky's doing, but between Batman and Detective, they are just recycling other people's ideas, and I don't think either of this is fresh.
Yeah.
The characterizations there is fine for Batman. It's the story. It's literally Detective and Batman are paralleling each other with crap storytelling.
They both
Detective,
think that they can expand on Morrison's RIP when that's a story that I was fine with it closing the book and being done at that
yeah, because I
moment.
didn't like that to begin with.
And there's expansions on that I'm just like, I'm not
Yeah,
asking for more of this. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but apparently you and I are on the same boat of like we aren't asking for more of that, and that's what's
yeah.
coming.
I don't know what to do other than to speak with my wallet. I just
Yeah.
I'll read them digitally through the press releases and stuff, but I
Yep.
don't think I can justify spending money on this because I really do think this is not good. That's all. I mean,
I
I can't. I'm tired of saying, "Oh, the art's great, but the story sucks." Like that's just. I'm
yeah.
tired of saying that.
Yeah.
Can't stand.
Yeah, there you go. Um, we're pretty much in line on that. I like it less. I like it less than you do. I don't know if that's the wording. I'm trying to
I don't think
phrase
that's
it
true at all. I don't think that's but sure. Go for it.
like I don't know. So I don't know. Remember how high hopes we had for us as comic readers when the era of Zdarsky's on Batman and Rom V's on Detective, and you and I were like, "Wow,
Wow,
this
this
is
is
gonna
gonna
be
be
great,
epic. And it's just
awesome."
totally fall flat.
And
Yeah, it fell flat.
unfortunately, it's not for two comic book lovers and Batman lovers. We're not enjoying it.
Not at all.
Um,
It's very disappointing when two writers, especially because I love Zdarsky's Daredevil. Like he had a great run on Daredevil. That book was phenomenal. Ron V was doing Catwoman. He was doing Swamp Thing. He did
you just read his
Aquaman,
Aquaman Black Label
which was
story, which
absolutely
both of us
phenomenal.
liked that
And
one.
yeah, it's a real bummer that his Batman just did not turn out as good. It just brings me back to JR's run on DC. That was an abysmal mess too.
Ugh.
you know, like just guys you expect. It just it's like signing a free agent in the off season for your ball club, and he just comes off this 50 home run, 135 RBI season, and then come the season after you sign him, he hits 16 and knocks in 65, and you're like, this is not worth 450.
Thought it was going close to when the Reds signed Griffey, but he got hurt, which is more so he wasn't underperforming. He just got injured like every single
Yeah,
year after that, which still kind of
yeah,
hurt, but it was out of his own doings. I mean, it wasn't out of his hands. There you go. Anyways,
yeah.
I'll move along. I don't know if you read they launched this is I guess volume 3, the Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries.
No, I did not. How
Number
did you
one.
enjoy this? Did you love
This one was
this?
fun.
Of course you
The cover teased the Flying Graysons, and you've got Nightwing swinging in with Batman and Mystery Inc. And so, of course, a little bit of Dead Man action in this.
will.
Little Nightwing, Dick Grayson, all that stuff. I'd recommend people not like you just go flat out and buy it because I know you're kind of up and down. You kind of read it if I tell you like Pete, you need to read this one, then you will.
Is it
Otherwise,
up
you're kind of
there?
like, eh.
Is it
But
up there with the writing of the very first Batman Scooby Doo? Remember the number one of the first volume? Like
the
that was
very
like
first one was way too uh incredible.
Serious.
There were too many great nods of like year one and stuff like that
Mm.
just blasted in that first issue. That's just like the peak. Um, but it's been consistent since. And this one, I think I'd tell you to like go back to like the review and check it out. Or our, the access you and I have.
Mhm.
It's a quick read. It's like 10, 15 minutes maybe. If you're
I'm
just
telling
looking
you,
to
if
read
there's no
something, it's
Scrappy Doo, I'm having a hard time picking this up. I'm just saying.
I know, and I can't tell you. I'll let you know because I want you to just read something and not know, and then you read it and you're surprised by Scrappy. It'll be the one
Scrap.
time that you'll be like, "So how'd you like this issue?" And I'm like, "I don't even want to talk about it. I didn't really like it." And you're like, "Ooh, Scrappy's in it. I
I
guess
want
I'll
a
read it."
Scrappy Doo red herring team up.
Make it so. Overall though, I thought that this one was fun. Like I've said on this, they've done 2 volumes of this, two 12-issue runs of Batman Scooby-Doo. Pretty much same team, same, circle of writers and artists and stuff. And it's more of that. So if you enjoyed it before, it's harmless, good fun for all ages. Worth checking out, I think, if you've enjoyed the stuff. Moving along, second Tuesday in January, Batman and Robin #5. Let's see, Joshua Williamson, and then on writing duties, a new artist on this one, and I am going to butcher it. Nicola C. Cizmesija. I don't want to offend and mispronounce.
I believe this
And
is
then
where my
Rex Locust
background
colorist.
in NHL fandom comes in handy. This looks like it's a
Do
name
it.
from the old Czech Republic, if you know what I'm talking about. This
Yes.
looks like Sizja.
All right.
Sizja. That's what I'm going with. Sizja.
Well, you have earned the right to comment on this one first, Pete.
Yes, my old Doc Emmerich background of NHL expertise is really come in handy when it comes to these names
Nailed
with
it.
lots of Z's and the Polish looking names.
Yeah.
As you know, I love this title.
Mm-hmm.
I think this title captures the essence of Batman and Robin perfectly. It's in a modern setting. We've got Damian finally in I'd say capacity that is enjoyable. He's no longer just a turd. He's no longer a walking asshole.
He's a turd, but okay.
Yeah, but he's like a turd with conviction. Like he knows he's doing the right thing. He's not just being a dick. I'm really into it. I love the dynamic between Bruce and Damian, how even Damian doesn't want his dad at school and yada, yada, yada. I think it's cool involving villains like Orca, who are minor villains, but still like low level villains who are easy enough for a takedown and such. I'm enjoying the mission. I'm excited to see where this goes. I want to see what Damian does on the soccer team. I flat out love this title. This is one of the titles I look forward to every month. I can't say it enough. In an era of shitty Batman being printed consistently by DC, this is a title that cannot be missed.
All right. Well, you've been more into it than I have been. I liked this issue.
Damn right.
I think it is doing something different than other issues in that sense of how you said of, Batman showing up at school and volunteering as the dad, for the student that's there, and
it's very
stuff
Goldberg's
playing into the father-son dynamic and stuff, and more on that in probably like 20 minutes. But I think there's an interesting hook here in the principal being Damian's old teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing like, there's that whole page that takes you through the whole week and how he's constantly kind of got his eye in the background on the principal and then other shenanigans going on at school. That's kind of fun. It's not my preference of Batman material, but it is actually like it is doing something different and kind of putting Batman and Bruce Wayne in a different setting, something different than what we've seen before. And I can always appreciate that.
It brings me back to early 90s, like Chuck Dixon Robin comics, where like Tim Drake's in high school.
True.
And,
Yeah.
he's got to go back and forth, stuff like that. There's even one of my favorite runs in Batman War, I believe it's War Crimes, War Drums, that whole saga.
Yeah.
There's one operation where the family has to, there's a hostage situation in high school. Batman's got to come out, and it's Batman's essentially first public appearance in the modern day, as opposed to being now and being photographed and stuff. So it brings me back to those stories, and there's a lot of, maybe a little nostalgia there, but I think Williamson's really hitting the nail on the head here.
Yeah. I'm surprised because our pal Javi, uh, Trio, he and I have been talking and been on the same page of our feelings on the book for the most part. So he'll probably be a little surprised to find out that I'm like, actually, I liked this one, and I liked where it ended too. Like enough of an intrigue of like, oh, okay, we're just gonna go next.
Like, I don't
So
know how much you can trust Javi. If it were up to him, Batman would go out running around looking like Sherbert.
it's
So I just,
it's because of Javi that all this Zernar madness is happening from Zdarsky.
I
Because him
fully
and
blame
Zdarsky
Javi for this.
are best pals. So
I believe Zdarsky goes over Javi's for steak
for cinnamon rolls.
yeah, steak and cinnamon rolls. That's their Sunday brunch.
Oh God. Oh man. So yeah, then I'm surprised at like how much I enjoyed this because at the get-go of this issue too, I was like, yeah, I was almost waiting the past couple issues of like, all right, is this going to be the one where I finally tell Pete, all right, I think I'm out after this, but um, it's doing all right. It still got me intrigued. That was the only Batman book that week. So now we're gonna hop into the third Tuesday of the month, Peter. But there's also only one issue of Batman that week. But that is Batman Superman World's Finest, number 23, the issue, Pete, that you've been waiting for me to read, Fall of Thunder, Rise of Magog.
I mean, I think it's great that you're actually learning more about the DC universe through this book, the expanded history. I know you settle around Gotham so much and you don't really like leaving there. So it's nice to know that you can expand your knowledge here with this book. I think Wade's doing a really fantastic job teaching you things as he goes along.
Peter, now listen, you at home. I know you listen and you think that Pete and I just give each other shit and everything, but I think
That's
Pete
true.
is actually being a little, and it's very true. But Pete's being genuine right here because he and I have many talks about, yes, my preferred
Geoforce.
I prefer the old G-Force. My preference is hanging around Gotham with the Caped Crusader, and I've actually been reading and I've been updating Garrett about this too. Burns Man of Steel Volume 1 hardcover, blasting through that, where you made an appearance on one of the covers, which is pretty wild.
My good friend Mr. Byrne, he likes to include me every once in a while.
Fantastic. But there is a little bit more, exposure to other elements of the DC universe that, pending the mood, sometimes I'm not in the mood for. I can credit, I think, this book because I've just enjoyed, especially this arc, the return to the Kingdom Come universe. It's gotten me not strictly more realistic, because then I even tell you when I read other comics, but they're,
Ryan loves a good Western.
Phillips. Brubaker and Phillips, like their stuff is instant day one read for me. Other realistic crime, like down to earth stuff like that is where I go. But
I'm surprised you're not a huge Daredevil fan, to be honest with you.
I know.
That seems right up your alley.
What is obviously like
I think you just hate blind people.
Miller stories. I don't think I do.
Yeah, you're
let me get back to you on that one. I was reading
Ryan hates Braille. He tears it down when he sees it in public.
That's true. It's like sandpaper.
It's like sandpaper.
But I read a bunch of Frank Miller's second like volume 2 omnibus of his Daredevil. Read a lot of those stories, and that was those were awesome. And I don't know why I didn't keep going with that.
I think you would like the Brubaker stuff.
I want to dip into that too.
Not
Daredevil?
the Brubaker.
Man Without Fear.
Oh, I forgot his name.
Mark Waid. I'm just kidding.
No, the bald guy, Bendis.
Brian Michael Bendis. Gotcha.
The Bendis Daredevil, in my opinion, is the greatest Daredevil.
You know who else loved that? Justin Kowalski.
When he's not complaining about everything sucking for before it actually sucks. Justin's got good taste.
All right. As for this issue, yeah, good old Magog.
Magog.
This goes a little, it goes a little bit more leaning into the area that I'm turned off by, but yet I'm with it just because this is chapter 4 of this arc. I've been so into the previous 3 chapters that I was in. Take me where you want to take me, Mark Waid and Dan Mora. And I'm there. And I thought this issue was a lot of fun. And then I don't want to give anything away, but obviously there's certain things that I see that instantly make me think of Peter Verra. And that last page, I was like, oh, Peter.
Yeah, that whole book has been kind of leading up to, I think the last 2 issues we've kind of been learning about Magog's his plan and his intentions on taking on Darkseid with the help of Earth's heroes. And I'm with you to an extent where this normally isn't my jam, but Wade writes each character so well,
Yeah.
and he is taking, I don't know if this is because he's adapting or continuing something that he previously wrote himself, as opposed to V and Zdarsky, who are adapting another man's work.
Yeah.
But it seems like Wade is way more fluid in knowing what he needs to do with specific characters, what they should be doing. The whole multiverse thing, it's really fascinating what Wade is
Yeah.
doing here. I say it every time, this feels vintage. Like he's found his groove. Remember that movie Stella Got a Groove Back? Well, Wade got his
Yeah.
groove back, and
Mark
he's
Wade is
shaking on
Angela
the dance
Bassett.
floor.
He's Angela
Yeah,
Bassett
baby.
through and through.
That's it, baby.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. It says, next issue to be concluded, which is issue number 24, I think.
Yes.
When that's done, I think I want to go back and read Kingdom Come, and then I want to read this almost like as a double feature sort of deal.
Yeah,
'Cause I think there's a lot
it's
of
going to be a
fun
wonderful
out of that.
companion piece to Kingdom Come.
Yep, I think so too. And I think we've mentioned, and I've still never asked him, our pal Mr. Minnesota, if he was reading this, being that he is the Kingdom Come diehard. I think he's even got a tattoo on his back that's like that text, the title Kingdom Come. Or my God, maybe he's got my God on there.
I know this weekend he's been very busy because I bought a TV and he personally delivered it to my house.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah,
he's on the road.
So, he's been traveling. He's been racking up the miles. He's trying to take the old wife to the Caribbean for next Christmas. So he's too busy racking up the points.
He's a real hero.
Yeah, he's a man of the people, or at least a man of the missus.
Man
he
of
does
the
what he's
people.
told. He's got a hell of a garage, though. You ever see that man's garage?
Yes, I have. I'm jealous.
No frolicking zone there.
There's a lot of frolicking going on there.
Yeah.
World's Finest, number 23. I haven't seen anybody talk I haven't seen anybody say anything negative about this title. And I don't think that they should, because this is good stuff. I think it's kind of consistent. It's one of the more consistent books. There you go. Now, like I said, that was it for that week. So then we're on the following January 23rd. Detective Comics number 1081. Good old Ram V, the writer, Riccardo Federici on the arts, and let's see. Oh, it says Riccardo Federici and Stefano Raphael, artists Lee Loveridge on colors. Pete, this is a book that you review for Batman on Film that I say that every month. Be as long or short as you want about this review.
This book sucks. It just does. It's horrible. I don't know what the story's about. There's this worthless question story in the middle. I read it digitally. I don't know if there was a problem putting the book together, but there's no reason why this question story has to interrupt the main title twice. I don't understand it. It takes me out of both stories simultaneously. The backup story is, I'm pretty sure Dan Waters wants to just destroy Batman, because I think Dan Waters is probably the worst Batman writer I've ever read. I want to apologize to Simon Spurrier. You had the title until then. Your backups were abysmal until Mr. Waters entered the picture. I am just completely shocked by how horrible this book is. It's just non-entertaining. It's not enjoyable. I don't want to speak negatively on it. I could be a lot more harsh if you want to. You can give me a ring on the phone if you want me to just tell you what I really think. But it's just not good. I would not suggest reading it. I highly suggest everyone stop purchasing this so we can figure out a way to get to Detective Comics on the right track, because right now it is just not. It's not going the right way.
I'm gonna say what I said earlier on the other one. I think the art is fantastic. Riccardo Federici, I love his like pencils, and I think the coloring for that stuff is excellent. That is by far and away the only positive thing I have to say about the issue.
Like, I wouldn't even cut this issue up and put it up in my locker if I was in high school. Everything about it is tainted because the story is just so stupid.
I don't like it. Listen to the past probably like 12 episodes wrap ups where I've said kind of like the same thing. There's maybe
I don't even know who Six Eyed Sally is. Like, I don't even know her name.
I just think I don't know. I don't like it. I've said enough about like negative about it. So, yeah. Don't like it. Period.
Yeah,
Over it.
please don't buy this book.
Done.
I'm begging you. I will send Eric Holzman to your house personally if you do purchase this book.
Well, don't promise that to people.
And you know what he's going to do, and it's going to involve your mother.
That might not scare people away. I don't know. All right. Also, that Tuesday there was Batman: The Brave and the Bold, Book 9, which had finally the conclusion. Batman: The Winning Card, Part 4, by writer Tom King, art by Mitch Gerads, art and colors by Mitch Gerads. You have been, I think, on like this specific story.
Well, on the
I have
title in
loved it.
general, because it's
Yes,
misleading.
well, on the title in general, I know, but I think this specific one, because this is what I've said is like the highlight for me of the book. That's the only reason that I really read the book was the the Batman centric story, and this one was the fourth part. I loved it. I thought they stuck the landing. I thought this is some of the coolest and creepiest art, like these 4 issues that Garrett's done with the Joker, especially. There's this awesome image of Joker jumping and the moon. Basically, it's dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight, and how the moon's just like glowing, and how creepy the Joker is and stuff. And I love this story, The Winning Card. I just flat out do. I think it's great. Yeah, I don't really want to. I don't know. I don't want to give like specifics other than that. I just think like the story works. I love the style that King and Garrett's went with and everything. And Bruce like early on bouncing between, public Bruce Wayne and then secretly as Batman. I love that stuff. The very violent clash between him and Joker. All just worked for me.
Yeah, it was okay. I thought the backup story was better. Or the final Batman story.
The black and white
backup. Yeah, I thought the black and white Batman story was better. I think the best story in this book is actually the Aquaman tale. I think it blows everything away. This Tom King story is, in my opinion, overrated. Mitch's art is fantastic, but his story is just bland. It just falls flat. It's not. There are much better Tom King stories out there to read right now. In my opinion. It just fell flat. I don't know what it is, but Mitch's Joker, I will give you that. He's very creepy. And I dig that. But I didn't read the what is it, the Raw Dog? What's his name? Road Dog, War Dog. I didn't read that story either.
Raw Dog? Pete.
Yeah.
Get your focus back here.
Is it Raw Dog? Is it Raw Dog?
No.
Whatever his name is. I don't know what his name is. They gave him some stupid name that's there.
Raw Dog. Wild Dog.
That's actually one of the name of Frank the Tank's hot dog segments. I think he calls it raw dogging.
All right. Well,
He goes
anyways.
to ballparks and tries different hot dogs. But this I don't know. This
You're like, it's okay. It's just okay for you. I do love Bruno Redondo's black and white story in the back. Writer and artist of it. So actually the Winning Card is going to be in the Batman the Brave and the Bold Volume 1 trade collection that comes out in April. You and we think they're going to sell all these black and white shorts that have been in each issue. They're going to collect those and do like I think we'll do
black
and white. Yeah, I think they will too.
Black and white volume,
which would be cool because I'll get it because I've liked most of these. I think Redondo's art is great. You and we talked about when he was doing the art on the Nightwing book and how great that stuff was, and he carries it over here. And obviously black and white though. I love the big Batcave shots, Bruce talking with Alfred, and then in the end, like basically what. Like Gordon with the bat signal on GCPD and stuff, like all that stuff is just, I don't know, a great little short story that looks fantastic. So it's a good story that goes with good art. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on this Aquaman tale. It's been a lot of fun. Aquaman, Ape City, Gorilla City. And it's monkeys underwater. It's absolutely insane. Give it a shot. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun.
Say no more. Yeah, monkeys underwater.
Monkeys underwater. Like, what else do I need to tell you guys in order to give this a read? You're really going to enjoy this. If you love the expanded DC universe, this is going to be right up your alley. And this is what the Brave and the Bold is. They're going to slap Batman on it and hope that you guys read it with that intention. But you know what? The best story coming out of it's going to be Aquaman. It's an ensemble story. That's such a
monkeys underwater.
That's it. So yeah, I love this Aquaman tale. By be totally honest with you, it's one of my favorite tales, actually, of the month. But not my favorite book because everything surrounding it's kind of meh.
Let's move it along. There's a fifth Tuesday. And usually when there's a fifth Tuesday in DC land, that means that we've got some annuals coming. Well, Pete, there were 2 annuals in the month of January. First one
missed
being
these annuals. I missed one annual. I'm sorry.
you missed one. Okay, Batman and Robin annual number 1. Did you read
That's
that
the
one?
one I missed. That's the
That's the
one
one you missed. Okay.
Yeah.
Josh Williamson, Howard Porter on the art. I'm trying to see who did colors. Oh, it just says Rain Barreto.
I always like
Why
when
would I
someone's
get
named
my-
Rain.
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 I was trying to think of when we talked about Howard Porter recently, but it was the Bane
You're getting
One
that
Bad
confused
Day.
with Ray Porter.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
My bad.
Oops.
No, it was the Bane One Bad Day story. So I talked about it with
Bane.
your Seattle pal.
Oh, Chris Clown.
Paul
Just
Herman.
kidding. Paul Herman.
He and I talked about it in our One Bad Month and how like Porter's art is very like, I don't know, it's evolved into a style more so that I don't really enjoy.
Ooh.
Williamson's story though is actually kind of fun, and this is a fun standalone story. So I'd recommend for you to check it out, especially
It's on my poll list.
Yeah.
I fell asleep last night while I was catching up, and the 2 issues I did.
I won't give details away. There's one thing that gets very annoying is that I mentioned like 20 minutes ago with the Batman and Robin series, Bruce being, the father. Well, in this, Williamson goes way too much in it, and everything's like son, 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 son. And
I don't see. I don't think that's
"Ah,
necessarily him saying, "Hey, you're my." It's like Alfred, right?
ah,
All right, whatever. You clearly don't hang around older people.
I do. That's where I spend my afternoons.
My uncle still calls me son. Like he just says it. It's just weird.
It's just when it's Bruce doing it, it's just a little kind of like, okay, it's a little hokey. But that aside,
That's what you're
the two of
complaining about,
them-
that he actually calls his son.
yeah, it should be like everybody called the little bastard, especially because that's what Damien is. But I recommend that you should,
Hey,
check it
asshole!
out.
Get over here!
Now that's more like it.
That's
Mortal
it.
Kombat
You
father
sound
son.
like Scorpion. Get
over here. Oh my gosh, it'd be great.
Alfred, get over. Can you imagine if Batman sent it to the Joker while fighting? Like he ties the ankle up with a batarang. Get over here.
He could actually go even further than that and shoot the grappling gun at somebody and be like, "Get over here," and eject, like bring him to him, and that'd be just like Mortal Kombat.
If the MCU had any idea how to actually insert humor, they would do that once with Spider-Man. I'm being brutally honest. Like that's actually a funny joke.
That is.
Shazam did it with what's it called? Oh, Eugene, and he did the Goku thing while he was fighting in the first one.
Yeah,
or was it Street
yeah.
Fighter? I can't remember, but he did that, and I thought that was funny. So that's real humor, by the way. Go see Shazam. It's a great movie.
There's another character in this that I won't spoil that pops up that's kind of fun too. Yeah, so for an annual, even if you guys haven't been following along, it's a standalone story. You don't have to be all caught up on the title.
It's one of those
annuals.
Sometimes annuals go either way.
Yeah,
They're
I agree.
standalone. They're continues. You can't really tell sometimes.
Yeah, it stands on its own, and it's worth checking out. I think it was a fun story by Williamson. It's just the art gets a little like not totally my style, but also another annual. So you did read the Batman Superman World's Finest annual.
Yes, I did, because I had to. My main man's in it.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
And that is the only part of this that I read, because it says on the front, in this issue, Bumblebee, Metamorpho, Challengers of the Unknown, and much more. And I'm like, well, I'll just read the Batman Superman stuff. And then,
but dude, you have to read Metamorpho. He's gonna be in Superman Legacy.
So the first story in this, the first short, is called The Fifth Dimension. Well, no, that's the location. Imperiled. Written by Mark Waid and Colin Bunn. Art by Edwin Gallman and Lee Luffridge. Yet again, colors. Oh, wait. Colors at pages 8 to... Okay. Yeah, so I don't... Pete, you can start this off because this is your thing.
I honestly just read the primary. I pulled my Lauer card out here because I had a time crunch, and I was like, I got to read these in. Otherwise, the dictator is going to be pissed. I already.
But if you're going to read any part of this, that's the part to read, right?
Oh, that's why it's the primary. This is fantastic. I mean, the way Waid is able to, earlier in the month, write a kind of, I guess, in air quotes, a serious kind of Batman, and then later on in the month deliver us an imp extravaganza that is nothing short of brilliant, is just a blast for me. I think this is great. I had so much fun reading this. I mean, there's just like little things like there's with when a Green Lantern's wearing like the Green Arrow hat. Like I just found that funny. I thought that was a funny little piece of artwork there. I just everything about it. I love Batmite and just the chaos that it ensues. I don't want to spoil it, but this is just it's insane. Like this is when when it comes to Batmite, I'm pretty much able to kind of like let everything kind of fall to the side, and except for when Morrison turns him into Skittles, the Skittles stuff. But like Batmite, like I can usually just kind of suspend belief a lot and just really have fun with it. And when I see the other imps interact, I like it because I like Mixie, and I like knowing there's that whole fifth dimension of like people who want to be heroes but they have no idea how to do it. It's kind of like Bizarro stuff to me, so it helps me just enjoy it. But this is just a lot. This is like if you love comic books, like if you're a DC comic book fan, this is right up your alley. Really, it is. It's just a blast.
This had Lil Gotham vibes to me
because of the imps.
Just like in the style of how they did everything, and yes,
it does kind of look very Dustin, of the characters and
stuff. It had that little unique charm to it. Overall, I thought it was like fine. It's fun, lighthearted enough. And then I saw on the last page of it to be continued in Batman Superman World's Finest number 25, and I'm like, oh boy.
I'm like, yeah, let's bring it
on.
We'll
see. We'll see. For me,
I just we'll see. This is what like. Hi, let's get you out of it.
There we go. Thank you.
We're just gonna combine a bunch of Jim Carreys into one.
There you go. Yeah.
But like if you were following along with World's Finest, this is the kind of Batman stories we're gonna get. We're gonna get these fantastical elements that incorporate the larger DC universe, and I think that's fine because it's the title's been that way since issue 1. Like, and I didn't care for the first story. You and I both did not like that first arc.
I agree.
And then Wade has slowly won me over. He just, he had to get back in the groove. He was out of DC for a little bit. He had to get his footing.
Angela Bassett
was.
Good old Angela Bassett.
Wade had to get that groove back, baby. You got to put on that white dress. I have so much fun with this title. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what it does when it coincides with the main title, because Batman and Batmite is always interesting to me, whether it's an old 70s cartoon or even Morrison stuff piqued my interest until it didn't. I get really excited for Batmite.
Piqued my interest until it didn't.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, Batmite's gonna be in this, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this Batmite. I like the design. I actually have an action figure of him somewhere.
Find it. Last issue, Pete and I dropped this book, but I mentioned it still. Batman Off-World number 3.
Oh, this is Kowalski stuff. If I ever read it,
yeah, that also came out. I don't know how that's doing or how people are liking it or anything, but you and I checked out after the first issue, so
I didn't even check out this one. I honestly don't hear anybody talking about it, but then again, I don't hear anybody talking about comics in general outside of maybe it's you, Adam, Carlos, Javi. Like, I'm trying to think of the people I talk comics with. Paul Herman, but it's like 5 people who actually read comics anymore.
People listen to this, and maybe people like to listen to people who read comics talk about them. So hey, there you go.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm calling out the fraud.
We'll do the work for you guys. Time to head up our next segment, Pete. You know what that is?
Vichyssoise?
Batman!
Yes. Okay. The Vichyssoise segment. I only have 2 down.
So it starts off with cream?
Yes. It's supposed to be cold. I only have 2 books under this one. First off, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, issue number 4. Writer Brian Buccellato, Christian Deuce, and Tom Derenick. Her artist continues to be, I think, just a fun summer blockbuster-ish comic book for me. I know, like, by now it's not let's see, it's not a spoiler, I guess, if you're following these or anything, that Superman has died, and I will say quote unquote died. And so it's more fallout from that, and then you have like the JLA reacting to that and stuff, which Batman opens up the book at least, and people are, other heroes are reacting to his reaction and stuff. But then, like, the main highlight to me is like back on Skull Island, where Green Arrow is with King Kong and fighting the League of Assassins.
Mhm.
That's some cool shit. And then there's
It
something
was.
about Moons here too when Kong arrives to kick some ass, and that Moon's going behind him and he's just stomping everybody. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's freaking cool. That's some good art. That's fun. It's what we came to see. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Like, basically just have it be like Godzilla and Kong fighting monsters, and then just have some DC heroes just like sprinkled like in the background or something. But it's fun. I think it's fun.
I normally don't like team up books. I don't read a whole lot of Justice League stuff,
Yeah.
but this book is phenomenal.
Cool.
Like, this is how you do it. I like everything about it. I think Batman's characterization is on point. I really like what the Flash is doing. I think the Flash is going to become a big figure in this. They've been kind of teasing that for 2 issues now. The monsters fit in perfectly. Everything that went on in Atlantis was awesome. I thought the release the Kraken moment was beautiful. I really
Release the
did.
Kraken.
Like, I thought that line was funny. I thought the tease up to it was great. The build up was nice. The artwork's been phenomenal. This
Yep.
book is surprisingly good.
Yep.
Surprisingly, it should not be this good. This is I'm jumping the gun here, but this is my book of the month. I love this book. It made me laugh. It got me choked up. It's got everything you want in it. Like, it almost read like a movie. This is like, if you're gonna make a horrible, not horrible, but if you're gonna make a dumb like overall crossover title, like, this is the inspiration for a
Yeah.
Justice, a DC universe versus Kong and Gods. Like, this is actually pretty smart. Like, I
Yeah.
really enjoy this. I think this would make for one hell of an animated movie, in my opinion.
I'm with you. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I'd that I went on a RoboCop binge
You
here
didn't
this
listen to me
week.
though. You didn't
And
watch
I'll
the
even
reboot. You
say
watched part 3.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
There you go.
I bet Edward.
There's bitches leave.
I love that. I love that.
Red
Bitches
Foreman,
leave.
everybody. It's funny that you mentioned that's your book of the month, because I'm jumping the gun for my other Batman and Friends issue, and that is the Penguin #6, which
Mhm.
was my book of the month.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It's
I
the best Tom King book of the month.
freaking loved this issue. Written by Tom King, new artist for this arc. Stevan Subic, Subic. I don't know where he's from. Subic or just Subic is artist. He did Riddler Year One, so Pete and I talked about that series, which both of us loved. Colorist Marcelo Maiolo. This one's called An Unimportant Man, Part 1. I freaking love this because I think you and I talked last month. Last month seemed very much like the wrapping of a first arc in the sense of Penguin gathering. Like, each issue was Penguin gathering his crew, if you will, his team. Yeah. And the like last page was like him looking across like the bay at Gotham or something, and it was like, oh, okay, now he's gonna it's gonna ramp up here. And this
It
issue
felt like
is
that
almost
final scene in the Batman.
Yeah. And then this issue plays, there's a lot of Batman in this too. And King works it out really well. And you totally understand. And I think it's such a great balancing act because I don't need our villains to become heroes, anti-hero, sort of deal. So it's almost like King works it out really well where I think you're questioning Penguin and like, is he being genuine? Is he not? And he starts to lead you one way and then up there it is. He gets you with something like that. That kind of puts you in place of where this Penguin's at. And I think he just does it really well. And I think the art is dark and moody and noirish. Batman shows up like there's never a shot of Batman of like bright under light. You see every detail. Like, he's very shadowy and moody. I freaking this.
I love characterization of Penguin.
Yes, that too. And it's like, this might be my favorite issue of this book so far.
Like, you
Love
can really
it.
see him get motivated. He's getting glasses thrown in his face. Lots of people are laughing at him. And you could just see he's like BJ Novak in The Office. He's just taking names.
Yep.
He's just writing them down in his book. So when he gets there's a lot of Sopranos in this, in the sense of Penguin and Tony are kind of very the same. Not good guys. They don't do good things, but in a weird way, I'm like pulling for them to get the better of other bad people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a book all about bad people, but someone's got to come out on top, and I'm kind of pulling for Oswald to do that. You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of similar to that vibe, and you know, because it's just funny. Like at one point, you know, we always think I always like the ascension of Penguin. I like those
Hmm.
stories because we always just assume he's, you know, just hanging out eating his fish at the Iceberg Lounge, right? But how did he get there? And we've gotten a few tales of this, Pain and Prejudice and stuff like that. But it's just like, you know, they're all different. They're all very different. This one's very much like mafia oriented with Falcone, you know, especially the glass in his face. And that's a big scene in the book. You know, that's something new. I like the different interpretations of the ascension of Penguin that we've gotten over the last 20, 30 years. I think they've all been very fascinating. That includes the Batman as well.
Yeah. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know how King can continue this like out the gate home run and then just keeps walking up to the plate and hitting another one out of the park for this Penguin
Well,
book.
he's striking out with
It's
his
freaking
Batman Joker title and his
no, he's not.
quadruple monthly story.
That's a home run or a triple. Okay,
It's a
so
sack fly that got dropped.
anyways, no. This Penguin series is just I don't like. It's freaking awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so hit me up with
His
your
Wonder Woman right now is really good too, by the way. That's also
yes.
better than his Batman
I'm
story.
halfway through the most recent issue of that. I got to finish as soon as we're done recording.
I love that he
And
brought back Steel, Sergeant Steel, not
I
Steel.
really like that a lot too. And you said for that, the homework is to read Perez's Wonder Woman, right?
Steel,
Sergeant
yeah.
Steel.
Well, Steel's a big part of that.
Okay. All right.
He's you know he's very similar to who he is. Metal
More
Hand, government
characterization.
agent. Yeah, you should
Okay.
read Perez's Wonder Woman, but that should be required reading though. Everyone should read that. You
All
can
right.
get started after Burn. I'll allow that. That's your next.
I'll allow it. Okay.
Judge Mills Lane. Oh, I miss Celebrity Deathmatch.
Me too. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Hit me up now, Pete. What do you got for your other books?
Honorable mentions. We're gonna go with just honorable mention. Nightwing 110. Horrible book. The worst run, the worst in Tom Taylor's run, ties into the Titans Beast thing. Reminds me of Pinocchio when the boys go to that island and all turn into donkeys or whatever it is. Damien turns into a raccoon or something. It's really stupid. I hope it's a one-off because I'm getting kind of fed up with Nightwing as is.
It wrapped up the pirate Nightwing.
I think this is they're happening simultaneously, so I believe this is just in between. Catwoman 51, phenomenal read. I told Lauer to read it. Batman's actually in it, so he had to read it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I really am excited. The supernatural element to Catwoman they've added, I didn't think I would enjoy it, but it's very minimal to the point where you only really remember it until they bring it up. With her, you know, air quote 9 lives. But she basically like she tries to steal something out of Chernobyl, and then she gets really bad radiation poisoning. About it. The escape's really interesting. I really want you guys to check this out because I think Teenie Howard is really being kind of forgotten with Catwoman. A lot of people aren't giving her a lot of credit, and I think it's very good. And there's a little bit of Superman involved, and there's some really good Selena Kyle moments in there. Poison Ivy, the latest issue from G. Willow Wilson, number 18, just a big old battle royale. Solomon Grundy, you've got what's his name?
Your boy,
Killer Croc's in it, Batman's in it. And of course, Jason Woodrow, you know, he's the big bad man himself. So that's really fantastic. I enjoyed that. So make sure you check that stuff out. And yeah, I mean, obviously, The Penguin's probably my number 2 book, number 1 for honorable mentions. Actually, no, because I guess honorable mentions was Justice League Godzilla. So
yeah,
1, 2 came from honorable mentions, or Batman and Friends, whatever the hell Larry calls this segment.
Honorable, dishonorable, Batman and Friends.
Don't read Main Batman. It sucks. So yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
Just read Black Label and everything else. Don't read Batman or Detective because that's just crap.
I know last month I think we had, I think it was Gargoyle of Gotham and City of Menace Black Label stories. This month neither.
Miss those days.
City of Menace is coming out, like I think its finale is next month, so that's exciting. I don't know next Gargoyle of Gotham. And then March is going to have some new Batman stuff, which is exciting. So
Just
Uh,
I just want to say to all you guys earlier in the year or maybe last year who were just hyping up Nightwing to be like this amazing book. I just want you guys to know that you're all fake and you're all frauds, and it's been meh at best. I just want to get that off my chest. So that's
I had a lot of fun with it until the whole. It was
it's
probably like
good, but
an arc or
it's
two before the whole pirate one, and then the pirate one really just got me like, and I stopped. And then the Beast World stuff, I was not interested in at all, and
Lauer. It's
left
been
it.
good, but it's never been the book of the month, and we've been doing this for how
That's
many
true.
years?
Yeah,
So let's just put it that way.
there you go.
You could follow the extravagant
Okay,
bullshit from others, but when it comes to the
not
truth, the
Peter
Batman
Verra.
book club speaks it. So
That's true.
just
You know
putting
what?
that out to existence.
That is truth,
Be
Pete.
careful who you
Thanks for that.
follow. Be careful who you listen to. There's a lot of crap out there, and I've just seen it resurface a lot lately. So I'm just warning you all. Be careful.
The more
Sometimes your
you
friends
know
say stupid
with
shit.
Peter R. Verra, and as we all know, the R stands for hope.
That's right.
Yeah. Um,
So I
Pete,
just
thanks.
I had
You're good.
things on my
Get it out there.
chest.
You know, you got to get it out or get it in, whatever you want to do.
Get it out, get it in, get it all in between.
Thanks for doing the work again.
Always. I do the work because there's a lot of people who, like I said before, are frauds, and I'm not a fraud.
They don't do the work, but Pete
No,
does
they
do the
just
work.
talk
So
out of
thanks
their
for coming
ass.
back. Let's do this again. And I think next month will be the 36th month wrap up episode, like
Mhm,
monthly wrap up episode, because that will
mhm.
conclude 3 years of doing the work, Pete. That we've done the work. Like my God, how many comics have we
3
read in those
years,
3 years?
Lauer. We've been reading 97.9% of every Batman book published,
Yeah,
right? I think that's fair.
that's solid.
There's a
Good
couple,
for us.
off worlds. There's a Batman reptile in there, right? Like reptilian, I
There's
think it was actually.
there's the book that we have maybe mentioned come out of our mouth maybe twice in the past year and a half or 2 years. Batman
And it's only
Incorporated.
oh yeah, I just that's something that
It's
if
not a Batman book.
you know what, if you want that book on the show, Javi can record a special segment on his own. Email he can edit it on because I'm not
Uh,
reading that
and
shit.
then I'll pull a Jimmy Kimmel to Matt Damon and be like, yeah, apologies to Javi Churio that we didn't have time for the Batman Incorporated segment.
I didn't
Ew.
have time to copy and paste your edit in there
Yeah, my bad. My bad. Please keep sending me the cinnamon rolls though.
because editing's so difficult.
Yeah. Yep. Sure is. Why don't you go ahead and plug away?
You could, if I haven't pissed you off yet, you can follow me on social media at Pete Illustrated
That'll do
on
it.
Twitter and Instagram. I have a news-based podcast that I co-host with the champion of Long Island, Eric Holzman. Of course, you've heard of him. That's Straight Out of Gotham at straight_O_G on on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook group, Facebook fan page. Consider joining both Lowers and both. I like making fun of him there as well.
Yeah.
BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube, Batman on Film podcast, Batman on Film social hour. Anywhere you see Batman on Film, I'm there.
That's
And
true. Pete's everywhere.
if you
Sprinkling
got
the
problems
seed
with me making
everywhere.
fun of Lauer in the Facebook group, tough shit.
Oh, I think I've said to you before too, like it's funny if anybody ever thinks that anything that we say is serious. And I think that might get you and I even more laughs.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh, Lauer and Peter, they're at it again.
it's like these two nerds are always fighting with each other, but they have a show. I don't understand.
Can't they get along?
I thought they were friends. They're just
Uh,
nerds.
just nerds. Yeah, just nerds. Let's see. For the Batman Book Club, you can follow on X/Twitter and Instagram at the Batman BC for latest episode drops, upcoming episodes, and sometimes some giveaways. Subscribe to the Batman Book Club YouTube channel where Pete and I are going to no man's land.
We're gonna do it. We really are gonna do this. And
It
we
is
talk
gonna
about this
happen.
all the time. It's just
But it's true. It's because it's gonna happen. It's coming.
it's gonna happen. We're you know what we're gonna do? We're probably gonna like binge read that whole omnibus in one day and just record everything the next.
And just be
So
like,
we can get it out on time.
you know what? It's gonna be a 7-hour episode.
We're gonna take a week off from work so we can read No
Yeah,
Man's Land.
that sounds like a
Volume 1.
valid use of time. Let's make it happen.
It is.
If you want to support the show, there's a variety of ways you can do that. Like I said at the top, patreon.com/SbatmanBC have some new users that have been very gracious in that, which I will
Thank
mention
you.
next month. Yes, much appreciated. tpublic.com, type in TBBC for the Batman Book Club to get some cool things that has that Justin Kowalski logo all over it.
Ooh, Kowalski.
Oh, Kowalski. But if you don't want to spend any money at all, it's 100% A-OK. The quickest, easiest, and most impactful thing you can do is rate and review the show. So whatever podcast feed source that you use, Apple, Amazon, Google Play, iHeartRadio, just go to the rate and review page and rate and review the show, because as Pete and I both know, the more reviews the show gets, the more it helps spread the word. And as we all know, the word is panic.
Panic. But wait, before we go,
yeah.
Who do you have for Championship Sunday?
Okay, well, this is gonna release after they're out, but so
that's
Pete
fine.
and I are doing this before. This is being recorded before. I think the Ravens, and I think probably the 49ers, but I want to say Detroit.
The opposite
I want Detroit, though.
I'm rooting for the Lions. I want the Ravens to win, but I think that the Chiefs are just, they should have lost in Buffalo and they didn't. So I kind of think they're going to win another Super Bowl. I think, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think it just.
Well, I'm gonna cheer with old B Rabbit, and I'm hoping that the Lions can.
Oh, I'm rooting for Adam Snow. I'm rooting for the Lions all the way. Adam Snow movie show on YouTube, great show. Check that out. Good friend of ours at Straight Outta Gotham. Good guy. Big Lions fan from the snowy Michigan area. I don't know if he's actually from Detroit.
From the D.
But
right now there's only one team that is the D.
That's right.
So, all right. So for Peter or Verra, the Frolicker, I am Ryan Lauer. And until next time, big night, guys.